And we're off. Andrew, it's all yours.
All right, I'm going to take over the presentation here, Grant. All right, can everyone see this?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, let's get started. First and foremost, welcome to PulpCon. My name is Andrew Thomas. I am the manager of the Pulp project team and the interim product owner. This is my first PulpCon on the Pulp team, so I've been lurking in the background trying to keep things organized. So if you don't recognize my name, totally won't be offended. I've included some of my usernames for Matrix and GitHub in case you do see me around or want to reach out directly to me. I have my email there as well. So that way you can put a face to a username, as it were. So today we'll be going over a little bit of a year in review, just to kind of shout out a couple of things that have happened this year, and then as well as our roadmap, which will detail just a couple of things that we're planning to do over the next couple of months / next 2 quarters or so. So let's jump right into it. I'm just going to give a quick little overview of the team, how we work, the sub-teams involved, and what each specialize in. Then we'll jump into a little bit about AI. It wouldn't be a tech presentation without a little mention of AI. We have a new AI policy that we posted in the last couple of months, so just want to go over that real quick and make sure people are clear on that. Then, as I said before, just looking back at 2025, a little community appreciation, and then we'll discuss our roadmap, just looking at some of the big items that are on our plan so far for next year, end of this year as well. So we'll discuss that. But first and foremost, let's talk about the team. So the Pulp team, made up of 11 engineers, is split between 2 sub-teams. The project team, which is the team that I manage. This team manages all of the upstream, the entire Pulp project, responsible for keeping the CI green and healthy, reviewing issues and pull requests, supporting internal Red Hat products, everything to do with the upstream project as you see it on GitHub. On the other side, we have the Pulp services team, which is our live deployment hosted team. They maintain an internal Pulp deployment, which is used in a variety of ways. They provide real usage right back to our team and also contribute upstream fixes and improvements as well that they encounter on their end. I don't want to talk too much about them because Brian is going to have a presentation on Wednesday morning Eastern. So please check that out for more details about how the Pulp services team works and their experiences so far. So that's a little bit of an overview of the team. Now we can move into some AI talk, which I know is a huge topic this last year and a half or 2 years or so. So we released an AI policy. This is both on our website and in our GitHub organization pages. We support the responsible usage of AI tooling, and AI is a tool at, that's basically what it is. So bottom line for our policy, you can go read it on the website and everything, is that the contributor, who should be a human, should be knowledgeable about the contribution they are making. AI can be used to assist, it can be used to test it, it can be used in a variety of different ways, but the contributor, the person who is actually pushing the commit and saying, yes, I want to submit this upstream, they should be knowledgeable about it and be able to communicate with the people who are reviewing it on the Pulp team side. On the Pulp team side, we also think a human should be involved at some point in the process. We have our CI tests, we have everything that runs automatically, but our human reviewer should always be a part of the process on both sides, and that is where we stand on this issue. So if you do have any questions about our AA policy, please go and read it, and then you can feel free to send me any questions about that. So that is how Pulp is going to be treating AI going forward. So now I'm going to jump into a couple of accomplishments, and I'll just kind of focus on a couple of these and just talk about them a little bit. There's more that will be later that I'll go back to. So if I don't cover something, I will get to it, I promise. So just a couple of big big developments this year. We've been working a huge amount on the tasking system. Pedro has a presentation coming up after this, so I won't give away anything that is important to that, but I will say that there have been a lot of improvements on the database side, and we are still going to be working on this into the next year. So this is something that has been worked on a bunch already, and there's still more plans to make it even better. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the presentation. Also with Pulp Core, we've had a big year of upgrades. Python 3.11 minimum required version, Postgres 16 we upgraded from 13. So we've had a bunch of upgrades that have been big and are important to keeping us up to date with our dependencies. So that's another huge couple of milestones that we've been working on this year. And then Django 5, we don't have it yet, but we will have it coming soon, and I will have more to talk about that later on in the presentation as well. On top of that, all plugins are now domain enabled. So if you don't know what domains are, they allow for multi-tenancy in a single Pulp instance, and all domains should support this, as well as we are increasing our deployment of PRN usage. It's expanded to the CLI, and we are continuing to improve upon that. So there will be more coming with both of these things, but they have been expanded to more plugins, and we're looking to continue that. The last plugin specific one I want to mention is just Python. We've had a lot of work on the Python plugin this year, multiple PEPs, multiple improvements. I'm not going to go into depth on what those improvements are because Jared has a presentation today at 11 o'clock. So please go and see that if you are interested in Pulp Python work that has been done recently. And then last but not least, of course, I want to call out for the entire project, just in terms of all the work that has been done. We've had over 3.1 thousand PRs merged and hundreds of issues closed across the entire Pulp organization on GitHub. It's a lot of work. That includes all the backports, that includes all of the new features. It's everything. So huge congratulations to the team on a good year of work. And then, of course, make sure you check out the schedule. We've had a lot more that has been done, but these are just some of the highlights that I wanted to call out. So make sure you check out the presentation schedule. And if there's anything else that interests you that I didn't cover here, make sure you check that out this week. Next, I just wanted to call out a little bit about our community. Still growing, and we appreciate all the support that we get from everybody. So I want to just call out two little things that happened this year just to make sure that people know that we do see this and we do appreciate it. First off, Microsoft released a blog this year about how they use Pulp to host Linux packages for their customer consumption. Very interesting read. I have the links here, so check that out. We also have recently reached out. Well, we had G Research reach out with us and connect about their Pulp Manager repo that they wanted to add as a community plugin to our organization. We, of course, were happy to add them, and this plugin allows for management of multiple Pulp deployments. I don't want to spoil too much or take away from anything, but Jeffrey Wilson will be presenting that at Wednesday morning. Please check that out. It's really interesting, and it's a cool little repo. So make sure that you are there for that one. And then, of course, all the people that come into our matrix, our discourse, our new users, we still have a growing community. So we appreciate you all, and we hope that we continue to see more and more people start using the Pulp project. So now let's get into our roadmap. This is just a high-level overview. I will deep dive into a couple of these in the next couple of slides, but this is just a timeline overview that you can see. So this quarter wrapping up, we are going to be working on the 3.100 release, which is a major milestone. This does have breaking changes, and I'll get into the details on that later, but that is the plan for the rest of this year to be released in the early next year. Also planned for early next year, we are working on making a Rust plugin. So this is going to be a plugin to host Rust content, crates, as far as I understand it. So we will be working on that as well. And then alongside that, we'll be working on Pulp 4. This includes the V4 API, which we will release into tech preview next year, as well as the full release. And I will have a slide on all of Pulp 4 stuff coming up. And then beyond all of these big ticket items, we just want to continue to improve our CI, our infrastructure, and our processes as much as we can next year. This is always an uphill battle, so we will continue to try and make things better. So if you do have any suggestions, please refer them to me. I would love to hear them. So we can dive a little bit more into this. Basically, we can divide this into two sections, if you will, Pulp 4 and not Pulp 4. So we'll start with Pulp 4 because that's the more interesting one. First and foremost, I'm not going to get into technical details or what's going into it and what's not going into it. Daniel is going to have a presentation about Pulp 4 on Wednesday at 9:30. So if you're interested in Pulp 4 and what's going on there, you should check that out. But I will give you just kind of a high-level overview that we do plan to release a V4 API on Pulp 3 sometime at the beginning, first half of next year. This is so that way we can have people working on and testing V4 in Pulp 3 and getting a better idea of what having a versioned API looks like, while also working on some of the changes that we want to release with 4.0. And 4.0 will be coming Q3, Q4, sometime next year, depending on feedback and changes in schedule. That can always throw a wrench in things. So we'll have to see what happens and how we do. But currently that is our plan. V3 API support will continue for the initial release of 4.0. So no one needs to panic about any of that stuff. I think you saw Grant's presentation last year where he's told you guys not to panic. So I'll just leave it at that. But the big question is what happens to Pulp 3 after Pulp 4 comes out. And I just want to assure everyone that support for Pulp 3 will continue for the foreseeable future. We have absolutely no plans about changing anything that has to do with Pulp 3 and our support for it. And when we do have changes, we will communicate that to everybody as fast as we can. So that's kind of a high-level overview of what we expect the Pulp 4 schedule to look like. If you have any questions about any of that, please bring them to Daniel's presentation on Wednesday. So now we can get into non-Pulp 4 items. These are other items on our roadmap that we plan to be working on. So I shouted out Pedro's presentation, which should be coming next after this one, about the tasking system. So we do plan to have even more further improvements to the tasking system for the beginning of next year. That's on our roadmap to be worked on. So make sure you check out that presentation if you're interested at all in the tasking system. And then 3.100, as I said, we're working on now. The big change there is we will be upgrading to Django 5.2. This is a breaking change. So just something for people to be aware of. And this will require most, if not all, plugins to release an updated version for the 3.100 release. On top of this, we will also be doing a Rust plugin, which I mentioned. So this will come in tech preview for Q1 of next year, and then we will be developing it through 2026. So this will come out of tech preview eventually. I don't exactly have an estimation on when that will be, but keep an eye out if you're interested in that plugin, and feel free to give us feedback as we develop it. CI and infrastructure improvements, I mentioned this, just simple improving test times coverage, reduce the amount of overhead, basic improvements and changes that we can make. So this is always something that we want to improve upon. And then I included this one. This is sort of a stretch goal, honestly, for this next year. We want to see Pulp UI get some improvements as well. Matthias has a presentation about that on Wednesday at 11. So if you're interested in Pulp UI at all, please check out that presentation. But this is basically our roadmap. If you are interested in any of these sorts of changes, if you're interested in getting in touch or contributing or any of that, I included all of the, if you don't have them already, our website, our discourse, matrix, and our GitHub. So if you are at all interested in getting in touch or contributing, please reach out to us. We love new users, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much. Hopefully this was enlightening as to what we will be working on for the next couple of weeks and months. And thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of PulpCon.
Thanks, Andrew. Outstanding. I have just one quick note on the Django 5.2 bullet for folk.
Go for it.
First things first, obviously Django 5.2 update will not change the public facing API at all. So none of you talking to Pulp will have an issue. It makes it possible to run with Django 5.2. We've already done most of the work necessary to adapt to 5.2. There's like one more thing that we haven't merged into the mainline for Pulp. So what we're hoping is that when 3.100 comes out that second week in January, it will be minimally disruptive. I think most of the necessary plugin work, other than raising the allowed upper bounds of Pulp to 3.115, will actually be done. So the goal for us, and I think we will be there, is that this will be minimally disruptive. There will need to be plugin releases just so they can use the new version of Pulp Core, and then they'll be able to install with Django 5.2 if that's your desire. And I know we've said in discourse, we've talked about it for a while on the project and publicly. The main reason for this being pushed in January is Django 4.2, which is their current long-term release, goes end of life early in 2026. So we want to give everybody a chance to update their environments before 4.2 stops getting support. Thank you, Andrew. Outstanding.
Thank you, Grant, for the extra context. I appreciate it.
Surely.
Any questions or anything about anything that I mentioned?
I don't see anybody with their hand raised. If you have a question, raise your hand. Okay.
All right.
Andrew, I'm going to stop the recording.